Welcome to the Music for Transformation interview series, where I get to interview amazing people who use music to enhance their own lives and that of other people as well. So first of all, just hit that subscribe button now and enjoy the interview. Right, so joining me today is Maria Chumas Baker, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her in a minute. But first of all, hi Maria.
Hello, hi James.
Great to have you on this series. So Maria qualified as a solution-focused hypnotherapist in October 2018 and has been adding extra CPD training to her skills since then. Her passion for helping her clients to become better versions of themselves, which is very, resonates with me a lot, and to tackle and understand the workings of their brains in order to make changes to their lives has been a blessing to her, which is amazing. When she signs off her clients, her heart sings, to continue the musical theme, and she sees the difference that the sessions have made to them. So that's absolutely great. Before, we're going to speak a lot about music, but before we do that, just tell everybody a little bit about what it is you do. What is solution-focused hypnotherapy?
Okay, thank you, James. Solution-focused hypnotherapy is a way of actually helping people to realize that they have the tools inside them to make the changes that they want to do. So, for example, if people come to me for anxiety, then I help them through the talking part of my therapy, plus what I like to call the focused attention part, which is the hypnosis, to understand that they do have the tools to stop the anxiety. They do have the tools to understand actually what's going on in their brains, and to basically say, okay, I know what's happening in what we call my limbic system, my limbic system, which is my primitive brain down here. And I know what's going on in my intellectual mind, my left prefrontal cortex, which is the boss part of my brain. So I know that now. Yes, I know what's happening when I feel panicky or I feel very anxious, and I don't want to feel that way anymore. So it's a way of helping them to access the tools inside them to make any changes they want to do. So, for example, anxiety or a phobia, if they have a phobia about something, I really help them to understand what's causing it, and help them to basically get rid of that phobia and to move on. It's very specific, so it's a little bit difficult to explain exactly, but the solution is the word there. So it's creating a path for them to move on. So we understand that we've all gone through our lives with lots of things happening to us all, everybody, including me. But we want to move on and we want to change our lives, don't we? We all want to change our lives for the better. So what we do with solution-focused hypnotherapy is we look towards the future for what they want to achieve with their lives. So we will talk to them about what's been going on. And then after that, everything is to do with positive thinking and getting them to understand actually why they're thinking negatively about things. And it's also to do with sleep, James, because a lot of people, certainly at the moment, are finding it very difficult to sleep. And they're what we call their stress buckets, stuff that's going on during the day. Their stress buckets are very, very full. So, of course, they're not sleeping very well. So it's getting them to understand how their stuff gets into their stress bucket, what's happening during their sleep, because we have about 80% of really, really good sleep, and 20% is what we call REM sleep, where basically we're trying to understand what's happening with our emotions, and we're moving it from down here in our limbic system, our primitive brain, which is thousands and thousands of years old and which is dominant. We're trying to move it up to our left prefrontal cortex, which is our intellectual part of our brain, to have control over our thoughts and emotions, which are causing us to be anxious or not sleep. So There's a lot of neuroscience in there. It's mainly neuroscience, but I find that once my clients come in for their what we call the initial consultation, where I draw the brain and I explain to them exactly what's happening with their limbic system, their intellectual mind, which I like to call the boss, and sometimes they give their boss brains a name. Once they understand actually what's happening and what's happening with their amygdala and the hippocampus and the hypothalamus down in their limbic system, then they say, oh my God, I really didn't understand that. Oh, yes, now I understand. And that's just the initial consultation. So we don't actually do any hypnotherapy in the initial consultation, but it really gives them an idea of what's happening. And then we take it from there. And then I have processes, techniques each session for going through with them and taking them forward. And then the last 20, 25 minutes of the session is the hypnotherapy, or what I like to call focused attention. I don't like that word hypnotherapy because it makes you think of people like Paul McKenna and those funny people on the stage that make you quack or do things that you don't want to do. So it's focused attention and relaxation. So basically they're listening to my music and they're listening to what I'm saying to them. And all the things that I'm saying to them, what we call language patterns and metaphors, are to help them to rewire their brain, really. Okay, so they're very, very relaxed. Some of them fall asleep and snore, and then basically I bring them back into the room and they've just had a very nice time just relaxing. And then I scale them to see how they're doing, and then I record their results on some software that I have so they can see each week they come, the progress they've made. So it's it's great. And I love it.
I can tell because you really got the passion for it, which is incredible. And
I have, yes, James.
I tell you what I like about what you've said is there's a couple of angles there in terms of, one, it's about giving people awareness. And I'm imagining that people don't necessarily have to learn all the names of the different parts of the brain or anything like that, but at the very least it's them having an understanding. If I feel like this is what's going on. And one of the things I sort of say is your mind isn't you. Your mind is a part of you, and you can still override certain parts, which is obviously about. So awareness is one thing that I got from that, and awareness is always the first stage of change. But then, as well as the re-educating someone through that awareness so that they can therefore make choices later on, you're then taken through that hypnotherapy that actually starts to rewire their brain. So you're starting to do stuff for them in a way. So
yes, that's exactly right, James. I mean, there is a lot in between. So each session we revise the brain, and I draw it again. I draw the bits and stuff, and we do the stress bucket, and we talk about what we call the 3 Ps, which is each day having positive action, doing something positive for somebody, positive interaction, which is talking positively to your what we call your tribe or your friends, which brings on positive thoughts, which boosts our serotonin. And serotonin is what we call the happy hormone, which really makes us feel a lot better. And I always say to my clients that you have to remember that thoughts are actually not facts. They're thoughts in your mind that are caused by different emotions, triggers that come up. It can be anything during the day that triggers an emotional pattern. And that's where the music comes in, and I'll go on to that in a minute.
Brilliant. And we certainly will. You know, I mean, I have a passion in learning about all of this stuff, and although I'm not a qualified hypnotherapist, you know, I've got a background in holistic lifestyle, you know, obviously all the personal development stuff that I've done as well. So I really enjoy talking about this. And we certainly will get onto the music. And a question I actually had for you in actual fact was, you mentioned earlier on that some people sort of fall asleep. Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I just want you to talk about that. Someone could be watching or listening to this thinking, well, hang on a sec, if they're falling asleep, how is what you're doing actually helping them? So could you sort of shed a little bit of light there? You know, if someone does fall asleep, can what you're doing actually still help them?
Yes, absolutely. Because when people actually fall asleep, it could be that they're just basically dozing, and it could just be for a few minutes. And when they're actually doing that, what they're doing is they're not actually asleep, but they're thinking about things. Their brain is going, and they could be thinking about anything, but they're using their it's part of rewiring the brain. They're thinking about things of what they want to do, what they should be doing, etc., etc. So it's not like falling asleep for the whole session. It could just be dozing. I mean, every now and then they snore, but only a couple of snores and then they're okay. So, you're not going to lie there and go to sleep and not be aware. You are still aware of exactly what I'm saying to you, but it's like you're sort of dozing. Some people say to me, gosh, I remember that bit, but I think I was asleep during that bit, and I remember I remember that part, and that was really good, but another part I don't remember. But that's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that at all. So it's just relaxation, and you're focusing your attention on the words that I'm using for you. And if you happen to doze off, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, because you're rewiring the brain. It's not exactly as though they always have to consciously be aware of everything. It's just going in there, isn't it? And they need to be in that relaxed state anyway, don't they?
Absolutely. There's nothing that I'm not going to be making them do anything. Some people think, oh my God, are you going to be making me do anything? Absolutely not. If they suddenly think I've got an itch, they can itch. Or they can move their fingers, or they'll cough, but they're just basically lying on my sofa there, on my relaxation sofa, just completely relaxed. And that's all it is. Yeah. It's not like what you see on stage. I can't make them do anything they don't want to do. They're completely in control.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to come on to music now, but I just want to sort of reinforce that. The fact is that every environment we're being exposed to, there's information going on our mind. So if we are looking at social media and it's a load of negativity, or we're constantly watching the news and it's a load of negativity, it's going in there, isn't it? So everything we're listening to is going in there. So what you're sort of saying is you're just putting the right stuff in there that's actually going to help them, rather than all the wrong stuff. Yeah. And if for anyone who's ever driven home, and you get home and you think, I don't remember that journey. You were actually in a state of hypnotism, weren't you?
Yeah, well, it's not hypnotism. It's basically a trance. You're in a trance state. That's it's like, you drive up to the Dartford Tunnel, and you get up there thinking, well, how the hell did I get here? I don't remember it, because you're fixed on an action. You're doing that. You're driving. You're concentrating. You're focusing your attention on what you've got to do. It's like if you're watching a really good film on Netflix or something, you're sitting there, people come in, you don't even know, because you're focused. It's focused on that. So that's what it is. That's why I prefer to call it focused attention. Trance. Yeah, it's like a trance state, but it's just really focusing on something very, very hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, just James, going back to what you were saying about negative emotions, etc., all the stuff that's on the news, all the social media stuff. I mean, even at the moment, I'm doing about 100 things at once, being on social media, trying to get more clients, doing my emails, etc., sorting out all my mum stuff. There's so much at the moment that we are having to think about and do. And so on my Facebook posts, or on my social media posts at the moment, I just done my third relaxation tip to how to relax, to shut yourself down for just 5 minutes a day. So I'm trying to get people to concentrate on just relaxing, just shutting off. And I did do a post a few months back about social media, about phone, these damn things that basically are our lives at the moment. And I remember, because I'm very old, a time when we didn't have these and things were so much better. But now they have taken over our lives, and especially with young children. You know, you'll see them walking down in the street in Maidstone, and they're like that, like that. And I think, well, why aren't you bumping into a lamppost? You know, sometimes they're walking towards you and they don't even see you. And so we're fixated on this, and our lives are on this, and it's so sad. And we're being pummeled with news, negative comments on this, that, and the other. And if we carry on like that, we feel like our minds are going to explode because it's all negativity. You know, I must admit, James, I work, and then while I'm making tea about 6 o'clock for supper, I put Sky News on, and I think, right, I last about 15 minutes, that's going off, because it's just negative.
That's it. So I suppose the thing is that, you know, we can have a balance. It's okay. There's going to be negative stuff. We need to be aware of news, but also we need that balance of positive stuff as well. And that's obviously what you do. You start to put some of what should be going in there in there.
We always talk. Sorry, as soon as we get in, what I do is I use what we call inconsequential language. So it's basically positive stuff, and we talk about what's been good during their week. And they'll say something, and I'll say, well, what else? And gradually they'll come up with all the good things that have actually happened. They could be tiny little things, or like I had a really lovely hot bath last night or something, but it's a positive thing. It's not negative. So it's getting them to understand that there is so much positivity in our lives, and we cannot let all the negativity control us, because it's our limbic system, our negative mind, which is feeding on this, because the amygdala, that part in our brain that is there to keep us safe, is trying to keep us safe. It's what we call the fight, flight, depression part of our brain. When something happens, it's the amygdala which says, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so that will tag up with the hypothalamus and start sending adrenaline down to you to actually help you to be on guard. So, you know, our limbic systems are just controlled, and all the negativity is going down there, and we're thinking, oh my God, what's happening? You know, are we all going to die? Is this the end of the world? La 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 la. So it's helping them to retrain their thoughts, and everything is solution focused. It's not negativity. So, and it works.
Yeah, I love that. It is about retraining. It certainly is. And you obviously use music to assist you with that process. I'm quite keen, if I can get my words out, quite keen to sort of learn about how you use music in that way, Maria.
Okay, well, I use music through the actual relaxation. I have my music that I use during the hypnotherapy part on my couch. And that's basically just to really help them to start to sort of chill out. And I chose this piece of music because it is the sound of waves on the seashore. And there's a sort of a slight choral overtone as well. So a bit like a meditation overtone to it. And it's absolutely gorgeous. So I use that. But the music is so important to me. And I talk to my clients about music. And, you know, I think it is so important, because music really lifts your spirits. I mean, you know, I always sometimes I'm in the kitchen, I'm doing something and I'm feeling a bit down, and I put on my music and I dance around the kitchen, and it makes me feel so much better. And a lot of people do that. So music can lift your spirits, but the music is very important in my business for that relaxation part, specifically when I'm doing the focused attention part of my work. But I do keep it on during the session very low, so it's just the whole session, so it just is relaxing them. So yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And I think you've just alluded to the point that music can be used in so many different ways. Obviously, different types of music for different purposes. And I'm exactly the same as you. I'll put on certain types of music if I want to energize myself, and I'll certainly put on other types of music if I want to relax. I often use music before I go to bed. I often put some relaxing music on just to, you know, bring me down and, you know, get me ready to actually sleep and get some good quality sleep. Have you found found there's kind of a difference? For example, you may have always used music with your clients, but for me, some of the activities I do, if they don't have music, it is so much more dead, and I just haven't got the same sort of emotions and the feelings. Do you find that as well, that maybe they can't get into such a deep state or so relaxed? Or
not so much with my work. The music that I use really does relax them. The music that I love is really about lifting the mood of somebody. I mean, when can I just tell you about growing up?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Basically, I was born in the UK, but I moved to Europe when I was 13. But before that, when I was 7.5, my parents took me to Tunbridge Wells, and they bought me a record, a vinyl record, and it was the record by Sergei Prokofiev called Peter and the Wolf. I don't know whether you've heard of that, James.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was fantastic. Basically, different animals in this story are represented by different instruments in the orchestra. And from then on, I thought, yes, music is my life, really. And so then they said, oh, well, would you like to play an instrument? So I said, yeah, okay. So I started playing the violin. And I did that for quite a long time, and I loved it. And I was found actually to have a very, very, very good ear for music, which I thought was great. It made me feel really, really good. So all my life, I've been listening to all different types of music, classical as well as pop, as well as jazz, all sorts of music. I do like a lot of classical music, James, though, because but the music that I like really, really pricks the emotions. For example, there was another really good piece of music by a composer called Saint-Saëns. Back in the 1800s, he composed a piece called Danse Macabre in French, which is basically a macabre dance, if you translate it in English. And the notes and the tones and the way that was brought forward was really quite spooky, but it made me come alive, and I just love listening to it. So, you know, I just absolutely adore it. For example, I love Berlioz, the composer. I love Romeo and Juliet. It just brings me alive. And I don't know whether you've heard of Ravel's Bolero.
Yeah, heard of. I couldn't.
That is just amazing. Yeah. It builds itself up and builds itself up. So I love music that really has a story to it and can prick your emotions, because music does prick your emotions. Dance music. I love dance music. I was brought up with Motown and Tamla Motown and soul and Michael Jackson, and just to actually dance and move. It just makes me feel amazing and picks me up. And then latterly, when I was living abroad in Europe, I went through my late teens a really, really, really difficult time in my life. It was absolutely awful. And I'm a Christian woman, and I was confirmed in church over in Europe. And then I got into worship music. And there was a band called Delirious, who they're a British band, actually, they're down in Hampshire, that I absolutely loved. And it's the lyrics as well, the lyrics with the music. Some of their lyrics were amazing, and I just got into them. And I've listened to some of their songs hundreds of times, and it would actually pick me up. And that's the importance of certain music. If you have a piece of music that you really have fallen in love with, it picks you up every time you listen to it. And it is so important, especially in these times, to use music that you love, to really just bring yourself up again and, you know, switch off and just focus on the words and on the tones, and you know, be calm or be jazzy. Or I mean, some of your songs, the words, they, you know, if you listen to them, they really pick you up and they make you feel 100 times better. So it's just using music as a tool to take you out of where you are in your thoughts, because thoughts, as I say, thoughts are not facts, they're just thoughts, and you have to understand that your thoughts don't really belong to you. And I practice, actually, I did a very intense course in mindfulness. Have you heard of that, James?
Mindfulness, yes.
Mindfulness, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned about the fact that thoughts are not facts. So when you're being mindful, and this is one of my tips that I put on my Facebook post, when you're actually sitting being mindful, you're being aware of the present moment, the moment that you're currently in. For example, us sitting here, and you could be just trying to shut off your thoughts, but your thoughts are coming bob, bob, bob into your head. But you've just got to understand that their thoughts are not facts, and you've just got to let them pass through the other side and not worry about them. So, you know, so music, I mean, in mindfulness, you know, you can use music as well, but music is just fundamental to our mental health. It really, really, really is. So, you know, I don't sing, I'm what do you call it, tone deaf. People have said I'm tone deaf, but I just love music. I absolutely love it. Just sitting down in the conservatory listening to, I love a channel called Swiss Jazz, which is jazz music, and it just picks me up. And you know, like you, James, it's your life, isn't it? And music is my life, even though I don't, you know, use it too much in my therapy. I'd like to use it a bit more, and as I move on, I probably will use it a bit more. But it's my life, and it's taken me out of all sorts of situations that I've been in.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll talk about those in a minute then. But that's
don't think so.
We won't go there then. But that's amazing. You know, you said a couple of times about how music makes you feel alive, and that's where you know if something's making you feel alive, then that is who you are. That's part of you. And like you say, it may not be as a singer, but it's just the way that music makes you feel. And for other people, it might be other forms of art. You know, it might be painting or something like that. But obviously for you, you know, music is a big part of that. And I think it's very important that we as individuals find out what those things are. And often you said, I think, you know, it started about, you know, when you were seven.
When I was 7,
like
yes.
Exactly. Often if we go back to our childhood, and we can sometimes ask our parents, our guardians, what was I into when I was a child? And often those things that we were into then, we need when we are adults as well. And we tend to you know, forget about those things because we've become parents and we've got houses and we've got, you know, jobs and all that. We forget about those things. But
you're absolutely right, James. I mean, I was never, my mum's a fantastic painter, and she was a dressmaker and all sorts of stuff. I am just not creative at all. I'm more of a language person. I speak languages, but the music is my life, and I can't do without it. I really can't do without it. So yes, you're right. You have to really look at what you're good at, what you enjoy. You know, a lot of people do that. They in fact, I did actually buy myself in the first lockdown one of these calming colouring books where you just, you know, not painting by numbers, but you just colouring in lovely pictures. And that actually was very calming, but I would do that and listen to my music at the same time. So we all have to find ourselves, especially at this time, something that's actually going to bring us into ourselves again and help us to really just be calm. Once we're calm and we're thinking more positively, we can actually, you know, come back to ourselves and think, well, what is it actually I'm doing? Is this right for me? Like you said, James, you know, you did, you were in management somewhere, and after a quite long time, you're in university, you said, no, this is not for me. And you wanted to do something else. So this is basically where I came from. I was an English French speaking PA. I started my business in 2002, and I did it for about 18 years. And then I thought, this is just not me. I had a network of horrible clients. I just thought, no, I just don't want it. I don't want it. So I've always been interested in psychology, sociology, helping people, what's going on up here, because I loved it at school. So I thought, I want to train to become a solution-focused hypnotherapist, because I tried it myself and it worked on a phobia I had. I thought, this is fantastic. I'm going to do this. And as I say, when my clients, when I sign them off and say, is that okay for you now? And I show them how well they've done on their chart, my heart sings, because I can see this changed person. Really, you know, oh, it's just amazing. And so, you know,
it's obvious, because as you're speaking, you are lighting up, you know, full of energy. And that's again an indication how you know if people are passionate about something, because it will literally raise their spirits and they'll just talk about it. And you know, they're happy to talk about it. So, you know, lots of tips here, and not all of these are specific to music, but there's so many gems coming out of this conversation in the fact of, you know, another way of finding out what you're passionate about is by thinking, well, what would you love to speak about? You know, what conversations do you just like, yeah, I'll be part of that, you know. Something I wanted to ask you about, Maria, you spoke about mindfulness, and we've obviously spoken a lot about music, and you've said about the melody, you like melodies of music and how it moves you, but also lyrics as well. Something I just thought was the fact of with something like music and mindfulness, for me, music could do one of a couple of things potentially, and I think both could be good. And I just kind of going to put it out to you and see what your thoughts are on this. So one, in terms of mindfulness, again, our minds might be having all these thoughts, and a lot of them could be negative, and we're worried about this and worried about that. Mindfulness can sometimes be about us focusing on something that's happening right now, you know, going into that present moment. So what we could do, for example, is we could focus on a song, be it the lyrics or be it the tune, but we're now focusing on that song. However, I'm also thinking that the opposite could be quite good, because what music can do, and again, maybe through a similar process where it's relaxing us, but it could also inspire our creativity, and we could actually just daydream. And you know, there's a lot of people out there, people like Einstein, you know, were big daydreamers. Just the ability to daydream and use our inner intuition and our inner genius as well. So I'm kind of thinking they're similar but different. You know, one thing with music, we can really focus on it. Another thing, we can just use it just to daydream and be creative. So I just wondered if you had any thoughts or experiences with that yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I truly believe that there are very many famous people like Einstein, Socrates, Aristotle, all those Greek dudes that came up with all this wonderful stuff. Basically, they were just walking around and they were observing people, and maybe they were listening to music then, but they were thinking in the present moment about what was going on. They'd suddenly come up with this thought. I love looking at lyrics of songs, and there are many songs where the lyrics have really got to me. There's a song, I actually put it on my Facebook page. Turn my phone off. And I wanted people just to look at the lyrics. And it's by a chap called Ben Montague. Have you heard of Ben Montague?
I'm not sure that I have, actually, no.
Oh, right. Well, he's actually from Kent. He's an English musician. And he did a song, and because I'm very old, my memory, I'm trying to think, he did a marvelous song, and it was about the fact that the chorus basically started as with "we crash, we burn, we live, we learn," and then basically it was about the situations we're in, but then we come through it and we move on. Okay. And I kept listening to this chorus: "We crash, we burn, we live, we learn." But we start. It's called "We Start Over" by Ben Montague, and it's about the things that are happening to us, and I mean, I've crashed and burnt many times, and everybody has. But then we come round and we start over again, and we go on our trail again. And so, mindfulness can work like that, where you're just sitting and just focusing on something. There's actually a really, really good mindfulness method that you use to when you're lying on a bed and you're actually focusing on parts of your body. Okay. You start at your head and your shoulders, and you work all the way down, and you're literally focusing on that part. And it's understanding each part of your body and how it works. And they say that, people have chronic pain, for example. If you are able to literally focus on the part of the body that's paining you, it can help. I mean, I've done my last client was a client who had fibromyalgia, and I was helping her really with her pain sensations, and I was helping her to sleep, etc. And she actually was really coming forward with being able to focus and understand what was going on, because of obviously what was going on in her primitive brain down here. So just to go back, so focusing on something and understanding it. I mean, we are in a world where we're going 10 for a dozen, and we've got this, that, and this, that, and we just cannot stop. A lot of us can't stop. And when we actually do stop and we sit for 5 minutes, just being mindful of where we are at the moment, just using our breath through our tummy, just breathing and getting to love our breath again. It's just one of my relaxation tips is understanding that you should really breathe through your tummy, sticking your tummy out rather than breathing through your chest, and understanding and falling in love with your tummy again. So that applies to different parts of our body too, understanding how things work. I mean, I go to the osteopath every month because I've got a terrible back, and she was great because she actually showed me a spine and said, this is what's happening. It's like when I do my initial consultation, actually showing them what's going on in the brain. If you can actually understand what's happening to that part of your body, that's the first step to getting to know who you are again and what's actually going on with you. So yeah, sorry, James, I probably waffled on too much about this, but yeah, the question was mindfulness and focusing, wasn't it? Focusing on lyrics, and the lyrics that I really, really like are "We Start Over" by Ben Montague, and also some lyrics from my worship songs that really, really, really helped me come through when I was going through a very, very bad part of my life. So music and lyrics and the sounds are so important. Vital.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant. And other people have said that where they've had a real trauma, a real low point in their life, and there's been a band or a song that for whatever reason it's that they've attributed that's got them through it, which is absolutely incredible.
And I know a lot of people, I mean, even in the first lockdown, I have put on my social media about how are you finding this second lockdown. The first lockdown, we thought it was a bit of an adventure, didn't we? We were going out and clapping the NHS at 8 o'clock, but fortunately the weather was great for us. And so we thought it was a bit of an adventure, and we'll get through it and it'll end soon. And everybody started baking cakes, including me. Oh, my passion's coming back for baking. Wonderful. I don't know what you did, James. composing music.
Certainly not bake cakes, but
no, composing music. But we've all found something that we can do to actually help us. And we thought, oh crikey, my cake hasn't fallen in the middle. That's wonderful. That's so positive. So we've started to write a book, or we've painted a lovely picture. We've gone to painting classes, or whatever we wanted to do. So we found passions again. But that's just been through the first lockdown, and now we're in the second lockdown. But I honestly think music, if anybody's watching this, please find yourself your favorite bit of music, whether it's James's music or other types of music. Focus on that, your favorite piece. If it's a song with lyrics, focus on those lyrics to build you back up, and to know that everything is actually going to be okay. We will get through this. We might be crashing and burning at the moment, but we will all start over when we have this vaccine, and when we're through this, and when our politicians have changed. But anyway, I won't go down that road. We will start over again, and we'll be stronger through this experience, because I think we have to understand that this has been a terrible experience for all of us. Some more terrible for others than maybe us, but it's an experience, and we have to learn things from it, and to come out stronger on the other side. So and music is all part of that, really. So guys, get yourself your favorite piece of music, listen to it 100 times, just listen to it again and again and again. Each time you listen to it, you will feel positive again, if that's what you want to do. Or paint a lovely picture or bake a cake. But I'm just saying, just find yourself something to focus on to get you through this time.
Yeah, absolutely great advice. And of course, right now we're in 2020. You might be watching this in years to come. Hopefully, the COVID will be gone. Hopefully, but there's always other challenges. So again, the point is, try and find your passions. Try and find any tool that will help you get through. Creativity is great in so many reasons, and there's nothing to stop you combining things as well. Because of course, music can be something that's played whilst you're doing those other activities as well, be it the baking or the painting or whatever. So
absolutely,
Maria, it's been absolutely incredible to find out what you do, and I love your passion for music. I can totally understand it. If people want to work with you, because obviously you said you help a wide range of people, how is best for people to get in contact with you? I believe also you do like a complimentary free session to start with.
Yes, I'm offering a free initial consultation at the moment. It will go on. Anybody who is watching this video who fancies just coming to see what's going on in their brain. Okay, and if you do come to me, I do actually revise it each session, and I eventually get the people to draw it for me and to tell me the names of all the things going on in their brain. But yeah, a free initial consultation if you'd like to come and see me. My Facebook page is just darkness to the number 2 light hypnotherapy. My website is 3Ws darkness to light hypnotherapy.co.uk. I'm on LinkedIn, Maria Chumas Baker, that's CHUMAS Baker, all one word. And Instagram is Maria Hypnotherapy. If you go onto my Facebook page, you'll find my mobile details, or you can message me, whatever. Give me a call, get in touch with me, and we'll just have a chat about what's going on, and we'll see if we can work together. Because it's, just lastly, it has to be a partnership. I work in partnership with my clients. It's not just me. It's hard work for them, but we work in partnership together. Okay. So, you could have a call with me and say, oh no, I don't really, not quite sure about her, but that's absolutely fine. We have to be compatible to work together. So, because we're working in partnership together to get you to the other side. So yeah, It's a two-way job.
It always is, isn't it? It's always about the relationships and the compatibility. So yeah, it's a very appropriate caveat there. So thank you ever so much, Maria. Like I say, it's been a wealth of information there, both about, you know, the hypnotherapy, people have learnt about the mind, and obviously the impact of music as well. So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much. Thank you so much for watching. 3 quick things to do now. 1, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. 2, go to the inneranthem.com website and access your free video series, the 3-minute music life hack, so you can find out how to use music to enhance your life. And thirdly, get access, get your own copy of the Empowerment Songs albums at the inneranthem.com website.